Hi, this is Anita from the Dusty Roads podcast. As many of you may know, I live and work in Hanoi, Vietnam. So because I live and work here, I've been to many parts of Vietnam. One of the things I want to talk about today was the Vietnam coastline and traveling up and down the coastline. Many people who come here, that is something that they want to do. They want to travel down the coast of Vietnam. Many of them will start in a place like Da Nang or Ho Chi Minh and travel up, or start in like Da Nang, which is the old China beach, and travel down towards Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon. I have, made that trip, I think a couple times, or, we might have made it into different parts. So I know a little bit about the roads between those areas there. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the roads and traveling on those roads in that part of Vietnam. I've written a blog post on Vietnam's coast, pros and cons of traveling the coastline. And first of all, let's talk about some of the pros, because it's always good to start with what are some of the positive things that you will learn as you make this epic journey. Now, I'd like to point out that, we did this in a car, but a lot of people do this by motorcycle. You see a lot of people that are on motorbikes and they rent a motorbike and they decide they're going to travel down the coastline. Great and adventurous thing to do. But here are some things that you can do as you go. You're going to see a lot of diversity, a lot of diverse destinations, a lot of great places you could stop if you have time. There's, of course, the wonderful beach town of Nha Trang, around the Nha Trang area there, where, you could spend some days at the beach there. There's, Quy Nhon, which is also a great little beach town, which is, kind of halfway between Nha Trang and Da Nang. If you're a beach person, you want to see coastlines, you want to see beautiful coastlines, this is a great trip. There's unique experiences. I remember, as we were driving along and you could look down at the ocean and there they would be making salt on the ocean. They'd be drying the salt out. It's a lot of, great things that you'll see, a great adventure. You'll just experience a lot of great cultural things. There'll be magnificent vistas. Some of the beauty of the coastline is just magnificent. There'll be, these high cliffs looking down onto a beautiful blue ocean. It truly is magnificent. It's an adventure. It's definitely an adventure of a lifetime. So those people that are looking to do something like this really is a true adventure. You'll be able to really immerse yourself in the Vietnamese culture. You'll see Vietnam as you will not see it in the major cities. You will see country life. You'll see village life. You'll see small cities. You'll be able to try all different types of Vietnamese food. This will, truly be an adventure as you go around and you see all these different parts of Vietnam along the coast. There'll be lots of friendly locals, lots of friendly people there that will be able to maybe talk to if you could speak some of the language, or if they speak a little bit of English, where, English is spoken now more in Vietnam, but in some of these other places may still be hard to be able to get for them to speak English to you. It'd be a lot of natural beauty. The natural beauty will be phenomenal in this part of the world. And, Vietnam does have a magnificent coastline with a lot of natural beauty. So if you're able to go there and to see some of this truly is worth, the time and effort to be able to see it. If you're able to be flexible, you can go as fast paced as, fast or as slow as you want to go. And that's one of the beauties of this, is that you could take your time and say, I'm going to spend a month or 2 months going down along the coast, stopping along the way, meeting different people, exploring different life. You could, take your time and do that. Or you could say, I'm going to do it within a week or two. We're going to do it very quickly. I've known people who have motorcycled it both ways, those that have taken their time and those that have gone quickly, and both have had great experiences along the way. So, if you're looking for a great adventure, this definitely is a great adventure to travel along Vietnam's coastline and to see all the life and other things along the coast there. It truly is a magnificent thing to experience and to see. But now let's talk about some of the cons and some of the things that I saw myself there as I was traveling on it. And my number one con that I got to put down is road safety. Now, especially if you're on a motorbike, if you are not used to motorcycling these type of roads, it may be quite dangerous for you. Vietnam tends to have its own set of rules when it comes to rules to the road. It may be common for even large trucks to pull over and go in the wrong lane. You might, find yourself being thrown down a cliff. There's a lot of things that can happen here. Without even knowing, I can tell you there's been a lot of people that have been hurt along the way on these routes just because these roads are dangerous. I've been on the roads myself, and as you're climbing up a lot of them, if you really need to be someone who's a good driver who understands how to drive these roads, or it could be dangerous for you and for other people around you too. The other thing would be medical emergencies. If you do end up getting hurt, a lot of these small towns will not have the medical facilities you need, and they may not have the life-saving medical facilities that you need. So you need to understand that and be aware of that. You need to make sure you have insurance in place, or have names of doctors or other things along the way in case something does happen. Be prepared. Have a plan if something does happen, that you will know what you will do and where you will go. Because actually, medical care is not the same throughout all Vietnam. In some of these smaller places, they may not just have the doctors, the facilities, or the hospitals of what you need. The roads are dangerous. There's no doubt about it. These are dangerous roads. And, some of them may not have guardrails. They may have potholes. There could be other things going on. These could be some dangerous roads along this route. So, even if the roads are fully paved and great, they can still be dangerous roads, because you're going to find people are going to go the wrong way down the road. People are going to speed down the wrong way. Maybe they're not going to follow the rules of the road. So you have to be prepared for all of that and really understand that could happen. There can be severe weather. Certain times Vietnam can get severe rains, and, the rains may, end up, just plummeting you if you're on a motorbike or other things. If you're in a car, maybe you won't be able to see anything. So there could really be some severe weather. And if you're not used to that kind of weather, there could be a problem. There could be some heavy traffic, especially there's a lot of big trucks going up and down these roads. That's what I was shocked about, was how many trucks there were. But of course, many of them are traveling goods from one part to another. So there can be lots of huge trucks on these roads going from the north to the south and taking the same route that you are. There, as we mentioned before, there's limited, medical facilities along this route. You can find language barriers. You may come into towns and find that nobody can really speak English or understand you. So there can be some language barriers that you'll need to be prepared for. There can be a lot of cultural differences. You may not understand everything for all the culture and every place that you go. This actually is a great way, great part of Vietnam to see. If you're not able to see it, we can also recommend a third thing to do. Well, actually not a third thing, a second thing to do, which you could do a Conqueror Virtual Challenge, which is some of the challenges which we enjoy. And they have a Vietnam Coastline Challenge where you can essentially, as you walk or run or do other forms of exercise, you can, mile by mile, step by step, you can go along this Vietnam coastline and see all the important things along the way. So if you're planning to take this trip, that could be a great way for you to be able to prepare for this trip. And even if you're not, but you'd like to be able to learn more about this area, this would be a great way for you to be able to do that. We've written a blog post entitled Vietnam's Coast, Pros and Cons of Traveling the Coastline. And in actually that blog post, we do have a link with a 10% off of a Conqueror Virtual Challenge. If you'd like to be able to, check into taking the Conqueror Virtual Challenge, you can click on that link and get 10% off. We also will put a link to the blog post in our description so that you'll be able to read more about the pros and cons of traveling up this magnificent part of the world and viewing some beautiful sights and vistas along the way. Thank you so much for listening. We do appreciate you, our listeners, and we thank you for being part of our community.